Sakethi Ramineni, Assistant Professor, Department of General Medicine. So I am from Sree Balaji Medical College and Hospital. I bring you the topic of anemia and approach towards it and the application of dental aspects towards it. So let's start. So the first one is, let's define anemia. So what is the definition of anemia as per WHO guidelines? It means that there is a reduction in total red blood cell mass leading to decreased oxygen. That is, your hemoglobin is less than 13 in men, less than 12 in women, and less than 11 in a pregnant woman. The diagnostic approach here. So we have 4 steps that we'll have to see here. The first one is confirm the anemia. That is your hemoglobin, hematocrit, and RBC indices. We have to classify depending on the MCV, if it's normocytic, microcytic, or macrocytic. Third is retic count. We have to see decreased is underproduction, increased is destruction. Step 4 is we'll have to perform targeted investigations to identify the etiology. So the anemia is, the first we'll start with iron deficiency, the most common one. This is because of decreased iron intake, impaired absorption, increased demand, or chronic blood loss. The general requirement per day as per WHO is around 10 to 15. It is common in adolescents, pregnant women, and menstruating females. Etiology is decreased intake, that is poor diet, prolonged milk feeding, malabsorption. Increased losses, GI bleeding, hookworm, NSAIDs, and menorrhagia. Increased demand, growth, pregnancy, and lactation. Clinical features. So let's focus towards the right side of the skin. The first thing that you can see is glossitis. The second picture that you can see is spoon-shaped nails, that is the koilonychia. Third picture that you can see is number 3 is the angular cheilitis, that is ulceration of your angle of the mouth. So the general findings are pallor, fatigue, weakness, dyspnea. Specific are glossitis, angular cheilitis, koilonychia, and brittle hair. Lamar-Wilson syndrome. It's a triad of dysphagia, glossitis, and iron deficiency anemia. Pica, blue sclera, and rusted leg syndrome also occur. The investigations and diagnosis. So there's a reduced hemoglobin, reduced MCV, reduced MCH. Peripheral smear shows microcytic hypochromic RBCs. There's a reduced in serum ferritin, serum iron, increased in TIBC, decreased transferrin saturation. Bone marrow show absent iron stores. So we'll also have to investigate for the source of blood loss or malabsorption. So identify and correct the underlying cause. The oral iron therapy is ferrous sulfate 200 mg, which is 60 mg of elemental iron. We'll have to continue the treatment for 6 months after normalization of hemoglobin. Parenteral iron is only indicated for malabsorption or intolerance to oral forms. Response. We see improvement retic count within 7 to 10 days. Complications can be metallic taste, constipation, and black stools. Parenteral iron therapy and red cell. So indications are oral iron intolerance, malabsorption, chronic blood loss. So iron dose calculation, that is in mg, that is 2.3 into body weight in kgs into 15 minus hemoglobin per deciliter plus 500. Preparations are iron dextran, ferric carboxymaltose, iron sucrose, ferric gluconate. Administer IV and IM depending on preparation. Transfusion only in severe anemia with cardiovascular instability. So macrocytic anemia. So macrocytic anemia, here the MCV is greater than 95. In iron deficiency, your MCV is less than 80, here it is more than 95. It is divided into megaloblastic and non-megaloblastic types. So megaloblastic is because of B12 deficiency as well as folate deficiency. Non-megaloblastic is because of underlying liver issues, alcoholism, or hypothyroidism. It is common in elderly and those with malnutrition or malabsorption. So the etiology. The B12 deficiency is because of pernicious anemia or gastrectomy or ileal disease or vegan diets. Folic acid deficiency is mainly because of poor intake, alcoholism, pregnancy, and malabsorption. So the drugs that interfere with the DNA synthesis are methotrexate, phenytoin, and trimethoprim. Increased demand can be seen in pregnancy, infancy, and hemolytic anemia. Combined deficiency of B12 and folate can also occur. So, the etiology and pathogenesis of pernicious anemia. Autoimmune destruction of gastric mucosa, loss of parietal cells, leads to lack of intrinsic factor, leads to impaired B12 absorption, associated with other autoimmune conditions like thyroiditis or vitiligo. Antibodies, antiparietal cell and anti-intrinsic factor antibodies. Chronic atrophic gastritis and echinocardia are typical findings. Clinical features are fatigue, pallor, dyspnea, glossitis, anorexia, weight loss and diarrhea. Skin, we can see lemon yellow tint, hypopigmented knuckles. Neurological, peripheral neuropathy, ataxia, impaired vibration sense. Folate deficiency, similar hematological findings but no neurological symptoms. Laboratory features, peripheral smear, macrovullocytes, anisopoikilocytosis, Howell Jolly bodies, hyposegmented neutrophils. Bone marrow, hypocellular with megaloblastic erythropoiesis, giant metamyelocytes. Other findings, low retic count, leukopenia and thrombocytopenia. Biochemical findings and diagnostic tests, decrease in B12 and folate, elevated methylmalonic acid and homocysteine, LDH and indirect bilirubin are elevated. Schilling test determines the cause of B12 malabsorption. Figlo test for folate deficiency. Gastric biopsy for atrophic gastritis. The treatment of megaloblastic. So we have to treat the underlying cause and replace the vitamin B12 hydroxycobalamin 1000 micrograms IM daily for 7 days, then weekly and then monthly. Folate 5 mg orally given for 3 to 4 weeks. Combined deficiency, replace B12 before folate to prevent neurological worsening. Folic reticulocytosis within 3 to 5 days, hemoglobin normalization 6 to 8 weeks. Prevention and follow-up, prophylactic folic acid 400 micrograms a day in pregnancy, regular B12 supplementation, gastrectomy or ileal resection patients. Avoid drugs interfering with folate metabolism. Monitor your hemoglobin, MCV and neurological status. Pernicious anemia, lifelong B12 therapy and periodic gastric cancer screening is required. Let's move to hemolytic. So the overview is, it's either involving premature destruction of red blood cells leading to decreased survival. Bone marrow response by increasing erythropoiesis appears when destruction exceeds production. So this is why anemia is coming here. Hemolytic anemia can be hereditary, that is your membrane, enzyme, hemoglobin defects, or acquired immune, mechanical or infectious causes. It's classified as intravascular, that is within the circulation, or extravascular, that is spleen and liver. Key laboratory findings, reticulocytosis, elevated LDH, indirect bilirubin and reduced haptoglobin. The classification, inherited causes are RBC membrane defects, that is hereditary spherocytosis and elliptocytosis. Enzyme deficiencies, G6PD deficiency, pyruvate kinase deficiency. Hemoglobinopathies, sickle cell disease and thalassemia. Acquired causes, immune mediated, autoimmune hemolytic anemia, drug induced hemolysis. Mechanical, DIC, TTP and HUS. Infections and toxins, malaria, clostridium, certain chemicals or venoms. Common symptoms, pallor, fatigue, jaundice, dark colored urine, splenomegaly. Splenomegaly occurs because of increased RBC sequestration and phagocytosis. Chronic hemolysis may lead to pigmentation gallstones. Severe cases may present with bone deformities, leg ulcers, gallbladder disease. So pathogens are point mutation in beta globin gene produces abnormal hemoglobin S. Hemoglobin S polymerizes under hypoxia, dehydration, acidosis, causing RBC sickling. So sickle cell RBCs obstruct microcirculation and undergo hemolysis. It results in chronic hemolytic anemia, painful crisis, ischemic organ damage and increased infection risk also. The clinical manifestations are, in children, dactylitis, splenomegaly, susceptibility to encapsulated bacterial infections. In adults, chronic anemia, leg ulcers, vascular necrosis and gallstones. Long-term complications, pulmonary hypertension, renal failure, retinopathy and stroke. Sickle cell crisis are vaso-occlusive, that is pain in bones, lungs and spleen. So here we see something called as acute chest syndrome. Aplastic due to parvovirus B19 infection, sequestration, sudden pooling of blood in spleen, which leads to hypovolemic shock. Thalassemia. Inherited quantitative defect in globin chain synthesis, beta thalassemia, reduced or absent beta chain production, excess alpha chains, ineffective erythropoiesis. Alpha thalassemia caused by deletions of alpha globin genes. So the types of thalassemia are beta thalassemia major, which has severe anemia, transfusion dependent, minor, mild anemia, asymptomatic. Alpha thalassemia includes silent carrier, trait, HPH disease, or it leads to hydrocephalus. Major features and diagnosis: presence in infancy with pallor, jaundice, and hepatosplenomegaly. Bone marrow expansion leads to skeletal deformities, that is frontal bossing or malar prominence. Radiological features are hair on and skull appearance. Peripheral smear will be microcytic hypochromic RBCs, target cells, and nucleated RBCs. Laboratory will be increased HVF, HbA2, decreased or absent HbA. Complications include iron overload, which leads to cardiac, hepatic, and endocrine failures. Management is regular transfusions, iron chelation, folic supplementation, bone marrow transplant. Hereditary spherocytosis. Common inherited hemolytic anemia due to membrane protein defect, that is pectin, ankyrin, band 3. RBCs become spherical, trapped in spleen, and become destroyed. Features: anemia, jaundice, splenomegaly, and pigment gallstones. So diagnosis: spherocytes on smear, increased osmotic fragility, positive family history. Treatment: so splenectomy, that is after vaccination, is always curative. So G6PD deficiency, it's the etiology and also the pathogenesis. G6PD is the initial enzyme in HMP shunt, protects RBC from oxidative damage by generating NADPH. It's an X-linked disorder which leads to inability to detoxify toxins, as a result hemolysis. Precipitating factors: antimalarials, sulfur drugs, infections, fava beans. Clinical features: acute hemolytic anemia, fatigue, jaundice, dark urine. Neonatal jaundice may cause kernicterus. Chronic non-spherocytic hemolytic anemia, which is rare. Investigations we see: raised unconjugated bilirubin, hemoglobinemia, hemoglobinuria, decreased haptoglobin. Sideroblastic, it is a disorder of defective incorporation of iron into heme. Ring sideroblasts are seen in bone marrow. Causes are congenital X-linked, myelodysplastic, peripheral smear, dimorphic RBCs, Pappenheimer bodies. Treatment: remove the offending agent, that is your fava beans, pyridoxine, transfusion, F-severe. PNH, this is because of mutation in PICA gene. So it is deficient in GPA linked proteins like as CD55 and CD59. This leads to complement mediated lysis. Features: intravascular hemolysis, that is dark urine at night, anemia, and pancytopenia. Complication: venous thrombosis. Investigation and treatment: diagnostic tests are Ham's test, sucrose hemolysis test, flow cytometry. Blood film, you can see normocytic anemia and reticulocytosis. Treatment is eculizumab, that is anti-C5 antibody, supportive transfusions. Stem cell therapy is curative. Monitor for aplastic anemia and leukemia transformation. Aplastic. So aplastic anemia, bone marrow failure because of pancytopenia and hypocellular marrow. Causes are idiopathic drugs like chloramphenicol, gold salts, viral, and hepatitis. Radiation. Features are fatigue, pallor, bleeding, and infections. Investigations are reduced reticulocytes, marrow hypoplasia, and increased DPO. Management is remove the offending agent, granulocyte, CSF, and TPO agonists, immunosuppressants, and stem cell transplants. So that will be the topic for today. I'll come back with a new topic soon. Thank you.